Hey everyone, I'm Natalie Bencivenga and welcome to 5 Minutes With. This week I am chatting with Marita Garrett. She is the mayor of Wilkinsburg and she is also the founder and CEO of Civically Inc. Marita, it is so wonderful to have you here with me. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Natalie, for having me. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. So you've been now the mayor of Wilkinsburg since 2018. What was it about this community that you embraced?
Yeah, so one of the things that struck me about Wilkinsburg when I moved here about 11 years ago was the green space, how many different parks we have, the architecture of the homes, and most importantly, that sense of community. I saw some of that in my hometown of Akron, Ohio. So that really drew me to this neighborhood and area. And again, I go back to that sense of community where your neighbors are looking out and working together. So that's, happy to have made Wilkinsburg my home.
So speaking of making it your home, you've done this job since 2018 and now you're ready to pass the baton. So what made you decide not to run again for the upcoming election?
Yeah, so I also want to add, though, even though it's been one term as mayor, I did a term on council. So this is now the eighth year, people know, eighth year of elected office.
It's like, please
Um,
tell you.
right, yeah,
It's
gotta
been a
let y'all
minute.
know. It's been a minute. But one of the reasons not seeking reelection this time is to focus full time on the work of being founder and president within Civically Inc. So there's a misconception among many in local government that automatically mayors make, buku money, all of this, and we don't. Specifically, my salary as mayor is $5,000 a year, which is about $350 a month. So it's been an amazing labor of love. Public servitude is something that is in my DNA, yet comes a point where, okay, this is a full-time effort not being matched by full-time pay. And the work I do within Civically, that is what I'm most proud of. That is where we've expanded. That's where, getting working directly with the community and engagements, promoting civic engagement, and the Capitol building project we have with the Hunter building. So that's where I plan to, or that's where I will put my efforts in full time moving forward.
And can you expand a little bit about Civically for people that don't know fully what it is that organization does?
Yeah, absolutely. So Civically Incorporated, we are a umbrella nonprofit organization. So I say umbrella, so we have all different programs, but it's all related to increasing community and civic engagement while also addressing the current needs of our community. So most people are familiar with programs such as the Free Store Wilkinsburg, our Wilkinsburg Fresh Market, community care program with Grounded. In addition to most recently, we've been doing rent help, resource navigation, and working with Action Housing. So almost in the sense the wraparound. And also we do working on capital redevelopment project, again, with the Hunter building, because it's so important that as our community, specifically Black and Brown communities, revitalize, redevelop, whatever term you want to use, that we're not lost in that narrative of our future. So making sure, ensuring that our residents, that we of the community have a place to be a part of. So that's really an exciting project going on. Going to do a plug. Everyone can learn more about it at reimaginethehunter.com.
Amazing. I love a plug.
You got to, you got to.
So when we're talking about some of the issues of Wilkinsburg, between mayor and council, there can sometimes be tension. And sometimes I think people misunderstand the role of a mayor and misunderstand the role of council. And one of the biggest issues that seems to impact Wilkinsburg is the incredibly high tax rate. And yet it doesn't seem like you guys are getting a lot of bang for your buck in the community. Can you speak to that a little bit and what you hope to see moving forward?
Oh, yes, let's talk about that. So, role of mayor, Civics 101. As I mentioned, just as it is misconstrued about how much we make, it's also misconstrued our role.
Mhm.
So, how Wilkinsburg is, we are a weak mayor, strong council system. So, that basically means mayors do not have any legislative power. Council has the legislative power. Mayor, on paper, I oversee the police department and public safety, and I can do proclamations, those types of things. Yet, even within the police department, there's things I want approved. Council still has the final say. So as you mentioned, when there's tensions between a mayor and council, and people have seen that play out here in Wilkinsburg, that is what's going on. And it's really unfortunate to the detriment of our residents. So segueing into our tax burden that we have here, we've tried to make great strides both on the school district end, because they lowered the millage rate a few years ago, but yet it's high, so that you're faced with kind of two places. You're faced with people are leaving because the taxes are so high, but you also have people who aren't moving in because it's an obstacle that the taxes are so high. So to me, when people talk about gentrification or specifically displacement, taxes are a form of displacement. So we can't seem to grow because our tax burden is so high. And I'm proud of, again, the work efforts that have been a part of and led while on council and a mayor, but you got to be real with it. And I always tell the residents, I'm gonna give you the good, bad, ugly, and the real. And the real is, we really have to consider merging with the city of Pittsburgh. We're not getting, as you said it, we're not getting the most bang for our buck. And it's not a foreign concept, because what most Wilkinsburg residents realize, our school districts are partnered with Pittsburgh Public School. Our fire is contracted with the city of Pittsburgh, and our waste is contracted by the city of Pittsburgh. And majority of Wilkinsburg residents, more so the renters, believe we're already a neighborhood of Wilkinsburg. So we really have to get innovative and thinking outside the box. We can't continue to cut services. We can't continue to do things for the sake of not raising taxes because our taxes are so high. We really need to consider all options.
So what would be an argument to not merge with the city? Because I'm hearing a lot of reasons that you should merge, but why do you think some people are hesitating or uncomfortable with that idea?
The most valid reason I hear is about like public safety, our police department,
Mm-hmm.
because we do have a police department that is well respected within our community and does community policing, and where neighbors, our residents, business owners know our police officers, and they walk the street, they talk with our community and part of our community. So there's obviously the concern within that, but one of the things that I advocate for is that we would still have, a station here in Wilkinsburg, so that, you still have our guys, you still have that respect and trust within our department with the community. But that is probably the main valid concern that I hear of consolidating with the city of Pittsburgh.
And that sounds like a valid concern, but at the same time, I think the things that you mentioned on the other end of it also make sense as well. So I'm
Yes.
glad I'm not in the position where I have to make that decision.
Right, exactly. And that's the voters of
Mhm.
Wilkinsburg. So another, contrary to popular belief, that is something that would have to be voted on a referendum, which is in the hands of the Wilkinsburg voters.
And that's really what's important here, is educating and understanding these issues from all sides so that people can make that informed decision when they go to vote. And so when it comes to voting, who are you going to be endorsing for the upcoming elections, and in particular for the mayoral race in Wilkinsburg?
Yes, absolutely. So supporting a great slate of candidates. So Dante Comans for Mayor Wilkinsburg. He's also the only one on the ballot. Supporting Ian Petrulli, Ward 1 Wilkinsburg, Ward 2 Sabrina Gibson, and Ward 3 Mike McMullen and Nicole Santilla. And school board candidates, because I don't want anybody to get left out, but Dr. Juanita Thorpe, Vanessa Bouffray, Rob Strauss, and Ed Donovan. So Wilkinsburg, that's the slate I'm supporting, and the ones who are really committed to seeing us move forward, and also most importantly looking at all options for what is best and sustainable for Wilkinsburg.
Yeah, and thank you for that. And as we wrap up this 5 minutes with Marita, when we're talking about the sustainability of Wilkinsburg, what are your hopes for that community, for your community in the next 5 to 10 years? What do you hope to see?
So what the hope I like to see is that we have increase of our home ownership and increase of business owners, which again is tied into reducing our tax burden. Because when we invest, truly invest in our community, that's where we're going to see an even more thriving and viable Wilkinsburg. So that is what my hopes are for the next 5, 10 years, but that's also what I'm actively working on right now.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Marita, for spending just
Thank
a little bit
you.
more than 5 minutes with
I
me.
know, but you're so amazing. Thank you so much, Natalie. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.